All right, let's of course live now to journalist Martin J, editor of the Maghrebi.org. Martin, always a pleasure to see you. Thanks for joining us. I guess we're talking about freedom of speech here, but we're also talking about EU policies. I mean, Brussels now says the Commissioner's threats against Musk were not authorised and did not really have the approval of the bloc's president. But how likely is that? And why have they got into this damage control mode over this?
Well, you've said it. It's damage control. I mean, they're backpedaling at a phenomenal pace because in the last couple of weeks, it looked as though Musk was saying, OK, you want to fight with me? Bring it on. We'll have a huge legal fight. And you, the European Union, the European Commission, will look like serious losers. I mean, it will be incredibly embarrassing for the EU for all these details to come out. I mean, most of them you've alluded to. But, you know, what's going on here is not a free speech debate. EU is not a democracy, never has been, doesn't even pretend to be. It's not particularly passionate about keeping free speech or liberties. What it's concerned about is that Musk's platform, Twitter, has allowed a number of new far-right groups and individuals to come onto the platform, and of course Trump is back there as well. And the Commission believes that these groups are basically a threat to their existential future, you know, and they need to do something about that. And that's what's really spooking the EU. It's very much in line with a clampdown which is going on by the European Union on anything that it deems to be harmful to the greater public, which is really a very sophisticated and way of controlling the internet and controlling everything on it, which has to be aligned to its own narrative. And that's really what this is all about. We are seeing the slow erosion of civil liberties and freedom of speech, and the European Commission sees people like Elon Musk as a threat to that.
Well, so you said sort of to protect the people. Are you saying to protect the people or to protect the governments of Europe?
Well, yeah, you're right. Of course, it's really about protecting their own existence, and but it's dressed up. In a sense, that it's a sort of nanny state mentality, you know, is that you are too stupid to police yourself. We have to take care of everything that comes on social media, which will harm you. So there is a certain pretense there. It's disingenuous, but the reality is it's about self-protection, not really taking care of citizens and what people actually see on the internet.
That's interesting. You know, Elon Musk has also accused the EU Commission of secretly offering him a deal for quiet censorship in exchange for them to not impose hefty fines. I mean, Elon Musk seems to be, I mean, all this power with Elon Musk, that can't be a good thing, but what do you make of it?
Well, yeah, I mean, he's a powerful guy, you know, and his Twitter platform, which we all wrote off when he bought it, you know, seems to be flourishing. And, you know, he's now in a state where he's able to threaten. He's able to make threats, legal threats. We haven't actually seen any hard evidence to prove what he's alleging. But I think he's keeping that himself because he'll want to play that as a MasterCard in a legal case somewhere in the world. I don't know where, we'll find out at some point. So this is really what this whole story is about, is that it was the threat which the European Commission made, or the offer to sweeten any potential antitrust fines which could be levied against Musk. You know, the Commission was saying, we'll cut you some slack on a few $1 million fines here and there if you can moderate your content so it works to our advantage. And of course, you know, he stuck two fingers up at that. His reaction was violent as it was vulgar. No way. And so this is really the heart of this issue, is the Commission does not want to be seen as somebody that does dirty deals with huge multi-corporations. Now, of course, as a journalist who was in Brussels for 11 years, I can tell you that's exactly what the Commission does. That's all that it does, actually, most of the time, is it cuts secret deals with huge international companies so that it can get for its own geopolitical agenda. That's really its signature. And if this gets out, if this idea gains momentum, and investigative journalists around the world start looking at strange actions that the EU took, unexpected actions that the EU took, pulling out of cases that it had against huge corporations, and it finds that there was similar, let's call them deals made in smoke-filled rooms, which breach international antitrust laws, then that will be a massive embarrassment for the European Commission. It will lose a huge amount of its credibility on the world stage. And that's what Ursula von der Leyen is worried about now. These letters written by Thierry Breton, they were not even, I mean, it just goes to show, it's not only does it paint the European Commission in a very poor light, it also puts her managerial skills under the spotlight. The fact that he actually has some road commissioner doing something so reckless without even her approval. So I think we can assume that she's come in at the last moment and put the brakes on all this, and now is trying to, scrape back some credibility and calm the waters.
Well, we're going to have to leave it there, Martin, but that doesn't sound like a democratic EU to me. I'm going to have to leave it there. Anyway, thanks a lot. Martin J. there, journalist and editor of Maghrebi.org. Always a pleasure, sir. Thanks again.